Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stav's True Plan, the podcast where we get a little philosophical, but I do get a little silly Billy Goose action in the podcast. Now, I know I came at you full frontal, but let's take a minute. Let's take a second, okay? Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, feel every body part you have, de-stress. There you go. That's it. Perfect. Okay. And if you're not there yet, you will be in a minute. Because we're going to talk about something that I actually struggle with. And I want to make an episode about it because I want to be able to better apply it to my life. And I know that a lot of people struggle with this as well. To preface this episode, I'd like to say, sorry for being out for so long. Recently my life has been really chaotic. If you may not know, I'll be needing leg surgeries again that I've already had. And I need these surgeries to remove plates and screws that were added to fix my legs. And now they're causing me irritation. So planning that around school, and now that school's coming in person, it seemed like everything was going wrong at the same time. And I really lost myself for a minute. But I have a motto that I have on a whiteboard in my room, and it is don't lose yourself. And I promised that, and I broke that promise. So that'll never happen again. So to continue from this topic, what I want to talk about is are we having a party? I'm sorry. I like this. I like to be raw. So I'm not editing anything out. I think it's funny that way. Anyway, we're going to be talking about this specific topic. How to live in the moment. How to live in the moment. Now, this reminds me of a certain thing that I had been through before. This reminds me of something that happened to me. Now, I remember this so vividly that I can't forget. So I cannot forget. Okay, here we go. So I just need to be reminded because this is a very intriguing topic that we need to talk about here. So I think that like oftentimes I find myself having a weird experience where like I take a step back and I remove myself from a situation and I notice it like from outside looking in. It's almost like an out of body experience. In this moment, let's say like I see people enjoying their lives with no thought about what's happening. Like these people wake up, do the same things, and then go to sleep just to do it again. This story takes place at a water park. I was there with my mom and my brother. My brother was there with his friends, and my mom, she had people to talk to and everything. So I was there on my lonesome. I had no friends with me or people who I could talk to, so I had time to think. And all I could see was people walking, people talking, families interacting with each other. And I got jealous because most likely the next day at this water park, there will be completely different people attending the water park, but you'll see a very similar scene. Probably exactly like if you were to observe the day before and the day now, it'll probably look very similar. But the people are different. I could pick out the differences of these days with no problem. I'm too analytical. So I see that I'm very hyper aware and that I have trouble living in the moment. And it's almost like I have to flip a switch. Being hyper analytic, I notice things people take for granted. That's the benefit of being analytic. I notice very specific things that we otherwise wouldn't notice. But on my lonesome, I notice that I know many things that I love to do. I love, walking in the park surrounded by nature in the morning, especially when it's cold. Having tea by that water. I love flowing water. I love that shit. But when I hang out with people, I tend to include them on those activities. The curse is I have trouble enjoying the short-term pleasures alongside people I care about because I think about the people passing by or otherwise. I'm always thinking and I can't seem to shut my brain off. So that's a telltale story of not being able to live in the moment. How do you shut your brain off when you have thoughts in your brain coming around you 24/7? I felt like I wasn't able to enjoy the water park because I was thinking about people enjoying their lives with no thought about it. And I found a really interesting way to do this. Now, I know people might struggle with this as well, like Stav. I hang out with my friends. I go and do memorable things. And all I can notice is the people around me and not my loved ones being like together. I can't, like, if I look in the future, if it's in the future and I look in the past, how I'll notice it is, oh, I remember, but my memory will be very different than one who was there watching it on their own. So, okay. You hear that, don't you? I hear it. My brother's playing piano. Next time, I'll make sure to get like a quiet place where I can record because this is kind of crazy. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyway. So, an exercise that I find that is very useful in shutting your brain off when it's probably useful to you to enjoy the moment is to specifically what you want to do is focus on your breathing. Why you gotta throw the fucking door like that? Damn, boy. Fucking just beat the shit out of that fucking door. Anyway. Breathing exercises are very important. If you're in a situation where you feel like you can't take away from, you'll notice that if you focus on your breathing, that is all you're focusing on. Now, I think it's really important to count while you're breathing, like 4 counts. So, if you take a moment and you feel your brain is racing to where you can't just stop for a minute, what I recommend to you is sit down and take a deep breath. You don't have to count the deep breath, but just take a deep breath, right? And breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 2 or 4 counts, whatever you'd like. And exhale for 4 counts. So it'll sound like this. That's 4-2-4. If you want a more like calming experience, try simple. Very simple. But if you notice, if you pay attention to your breathing, if your mind is racing, if you're not living in the moment, close your eyes as you're doing these breathing exercises. And what you'll find is once you're focusing on your breathing and you open your eyes, you give your body the chance to interpret the situation differently. So if I, for example, was at that water park and I had known this exercise and actually have done it, I would have had my eyes open prior to the breathing exercise, stressed and upset. Close my eyes, have no thoughts. And then at the end, open your eyes at the last snap in your mind. And that's it. It's almost like a reset. When you're on your phone and it's acting weird, what do? You reset it. I feel like this is a situational reset. That once you focus on your breathing, and you can do this indefinitely. You can be like this. And make sure when you exhale to be at your exhale position for 4 counts. That's all you need to do. And I find that this works in any situation where you're experiencing anxiety. Oh, that was anxiety. When you're experiencing anxiety, when you feel your mind racing like crazy, or when you're struggling to live in the moment. I know if you're hyperanalytical, you observe other people living in the moment, and that's their moment. Find your own moment. Sometimes it's okay to not think about a certain thing. Sometimes it's okay to just not think. I know it's hard to believe, you people who always be thinking. I always be thinking myself. I'm a thinker. Whenever I'm at like dances or parties and I see people dancing, if you're as analytical as me, you notice these people dancing. And usually, like when you're dancing, it's almost like at the dance floor is like a bubble of the moment, right? Put quotes behind it. It's the moment, right? That's the moment. In the moment, your brain doesn't really think. Your brain just experiences. And that's exactly the moment, is just taking an experience. Because sometimes, and since because of my leg problems in my past, I haven't been able to really live in the moments that I'd love to. Of course, that'll change when I get older and I'm fully healed from these surgeries that I'll have soon. But sitting down and watching, it gives you an outside looking in perspective of the moment. And it really truly is a bubble. Because I would sit at tables drinking and eating, usually on my lonesome, because other people are out experiencing that bubble of the moment. And I would look and be like, dancing is weird. Like if you really think about it, dancing is weird. But you know who doesn't think dancing is weird? Those who are dancing. Those who are dancing don't think for a moment that dancing is weird. Those who are dancing don't think at all. And work with me, and we can shut our brains off together and enjoy a moment of pure peace, of pure happiness in the moment with the people you love. That's really important to me. Still to this day, I have been better about living in the moment. My girlfriend has actually helped me to do that. I have many special moments with her that it's really important to share a moment with people you care about. Like truly to your core, because you'll find yourself thinking just a little less. And you're spending more of your time enjoying. And that's what you should do. You should feel like that you can enjoy and not think all the time. So if you're the person who always thinks, I know how it is. And I'd like to say I'm sorry. I can help you by doing these breathing exercises. And also, don't attempt to shut your brain off manually. It's just not going to work. You can't do it. Your brain is so powerful, but it's also dangerous. You can't control that. But you can control. Listen, now you're gonna hate me for bringing this up. Your reactions is what you can control. So instead of, like, if you're not living in the moment and you're noticing people, live in the moment. You can react in a certain way. Instead of reacting harshly, being like, oh, I wish I was there in the moment. Act instead of feel like this is an attack against you. Because sometimes I feel like it's an attack against me because I struggle with living in that moment. But it's absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath real quick. Don't count it. That starts the restart process. Then start your inhale, right? Open. That's your reset. Now go on and enjoy the moment that you crave. Live like one day you'll look back and wish you were a part of it. I know there are points in my life where I wished I was a part of it. So I'm making this change today to think more efficiently in times that need it. Being overly analytical is a gift and a curse, but it turns into a power once you learn to control it. Whew. This one was a little shorter today, and please let me know if I missed anything too. But that's just my exercise for living in the moment. It's kind of tough to really boil it down really anymore, because the moment it's not tangible really. It's a feeling that you get, and you enter the moment by just turning your brain off. Hopefully. Now, don't try to do it actively, of course. Use the lesson that I taught you, and you'll get better at it. I know you will. If you are struggling with it, put a comment on this Spotify podcast that you can do. You don't need to answer with what topic you'd like to see next, but if you're struggling, let me know. I will make an episode about your issues and problems. I will never let people know who you are, but maybe this podcast will show you that we're all more alike than we are different. And we're all suffering the same curses, the same demons. We're much more similar than you can imagine. Let me show you, and we can all smile together in unison. Now, that's it. Use this breathing exercise in any point of your life that you feel stress. Remember to always drink water. You're probably not drinking enough. And take good care of yourself, because you're the only you have. Fall in love with it. See ya.